Well, hello there, my sweet little Eggs Benedict Sunshine Princess. Welcome to the very first ever LP Variety Hour. And that's right, guys. I can go from Southern Sal, just like this right here, right to a normal talking voice, just like this, just like a radio host. Okay, welcome to the LP Variety Hour. This is going to be the very first LP Variety Hour, guys. And what this is going to be basically is just me talking. That's all it is. And if you don't want to be listening to me talking, go ahead and hit stop now. Go to another video because all this is going to be is basically a way for you to pass time while you're either doing your cardio, driving to work, if you're working, doing whatever you hate doing, and you want to listen to LP talk instead. You can go ahead and do that now because there's going to be absolutely no video included with these videos on YouTube. It almost doesn't make sense, I know, but I'm trying it out. And this is the very first one. So what I'm going to get to do is basically discuss anything I want, anytime I want. And I may end up having guests on, people that come to town. Whenever we travel, I'm going to be able to take this mic with me. I'm going to be able to interview maybe some famous people, maybe Baby Girl. Who knows? I might even interview Jacoby. You never even know, guys. So basically, I'm just going to write down a bunch of topics, just like I normally do in my random LP uploads and stuff like that. But this is going to be just basically a radio show. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about today, guys, is what do you think is alpha? And you guys can write it down in the comments if you want to. But I'm going to talk about what I think is alpha. And I actually got this idea from one of the most alpha of alpha YouTubers, I feel, which is Latsbra. He gets to explore uncharted lands, and he takes like the most sweetest pictures ever for Instagram. So jelly. But he did a whole video on this, and it actually kind of made me start thinking about like, what do I think is alpha? Now, me personally, my personal thought when I think of alpha is, in my world, the person that can get things done, the person that can figure out a way to get it done, whatever it is. It's not the guy that's like, big and ripped or anything like that in my world, personally. There's not like any kind of like, lion and lioness or anything like that. It's just whoever is the smartest to get something done. And then also my other thing is like the person that gloats the least, the person that does it silently and just really kicks ass. That person. I think that's super alpha. The quiet one that doesn't say anything when everybody else is talking about doing whatever they're doing, and then all of a sudden they just come out and just like whoop-ah! Just whoop on everybody. Only when it comes down to like that moment though. I personally feel that is super alpha, not the normal alpha. In today's world, if you think about it, like think about like the term alpha beta, like if you think about the original, like if you look it up in the dictionary, alpha is probably, the terms of like the alpha male of a pack, boop-de boop-de boop. But if you apply those terminologies and stuff to today, it's kind of hard because like we don't roam around and like hunt our meat, and it's not like a pack thing. I mean, you could kind of apply that to today, but the definition of alpha for most people is like who could beat up the other guy, who's the one that would be standing last. But that don't work no more. Like that's not how things work anymore, guys. Like if you try and beat up another person at the gym, you're gonna get the cops called on you. So it's kind of hard to apply those theories to who's alpha or not. You know what I'm saying? I also find it funny sometimes, like people always talk about like, you'll be in the gym or something. This happens to me all the time. I think it's so funny. And like me and my brother will be working out, and someone will see my brother and they're like, oh man, that guy's big. And they'll immediately start like airboxing at something and looking at us. Like they're like getting ready for something. And like, what are you getting? Are you, like, you saw a big dude, like a big aesthetic dude. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about my brother. And like you saw like my brother in the gym, and you got all like flustered. So you started like airboxing and looking at us. It's happened to me where I wasn't with my brother, and some dude saw me. Like people have told me I have like a fighter's physique or something like that before. I don't understand that, but anyhow, I've had guys see me in the gym and just start like just boxing. They'll just start shadow boxing, and they'll be looking at me, and I'm like, what are you? I don't say this, of course, but I'm thinking to myself, like, what are you doing? Like, What kind of like primitive, weird world do you live in that's like a few hundred years ago where you could potentially see me in an establishment and you could challenge me to a duel and then yes, you would look cooler than me. But that don't apply no more, man. Like that's just not how it works anymore. So it's weird to me when people want to get in like physical altercations, like they want to challenge you. It's weird to me because yeah, go ahead and challenge me, man. Like, if you lay a hand on me, there's like a lot of people here, and you have like a gym membership here, bro, and there's like an ID in your pocket. People probably aren't going to let you leave after you beat me up, and like I have a bloody face and stuff. Somebody's probably going to call the cops. Me personally, there is a sheriff's station right next to the gym I work out at. So it's like, are you really like you want to start a physical altercation? I'm like old, man. I'm 32 years old. You want to start an altercation with me? Like that's so dumb. It's asinine. It's so stupid to me. Got completely sidetracked there, guys. Yeah, so I do not necessarily think that like beating up people and what the actual definition of alpha. If you look it up in the dictionary, I do not actually consider that alpha. It's like whoever is like crafty, very crafty and awesome at doing things. Like if you think about it, you can't walk around just beating up people anymore. That's not how you're powerful. But if you think about somebody like a lawyer, that is a powerful person. They know like laws, they know rules. Sometimes they specialize in something. Man, they know all sorts of stuff. It's pretty cool. People that have knowledge in things, that's alpha to me. Like if you know how to work on computers, like legit, you really know computers. You can take them apart, put them back together. You know programming, all that stuff. You can walk into any establishment and get a job nowadays. That's alpha. That's what I consider alpha. That's just my definition, man. You can decide your own. You can write it in the comments. Hopefully this starts some conversations in the comments. Anyhow, let's get to our next subject. Excuse me. I am stumbling over my words. You must excuse me. This is my very first ever radio variety show. So I want to talk about next is caffeine and weight loss and just caffeine and the central nervous system, stimulants in general. I feel like I was in this subject came up because I was in the supplement store with my brother getting some mass gainer. That's right. And we saw these two kids that excuse my words. I don't mean to make fun of anybody, but you know, no gain Sallies. Like you can tell they've been kind of brainwashed by things, magazines and muscle and fiction, that kind of stuff. And so they had like 4 bottles of pills in their hands, each of them, and they were going up to the counter. And I'm like, man, you can't throw all that stuff in your body, bro. Like you got to understand that at one point in time, your central nervous system, the thing that basically triggers all of your movements, the electronic signals that move your fingers, that move your eyeballs, that kind of help you make a lot of decisions, it help you move through the universe, basically. That's what your central nervous system is. And every time you take a stimulant, it doesn't damage it necessarily, but it brings it to a point where you need to let it recuperate a little bit. And going and working out and taking 3 scoops of C4 and then taking, you know, a fat burner 2 hours later or whatever you're doing, you're just throwing a lot in there, man. And it's already damaging you. And then plus a lot of people, I'm seeing a lot of guys and a lot of girls that are in the fitness world and they're in the bodybuilding and all that stuff, but they end up going out drinking still on top of using all these stimulants. And so already your central nervous system is in a very terrible condition after drinking, after going out all the time, staying out late. You're dehydrated, you're not getting enough sleep, you go to work, you hate your job, you're pissed off, boss has got you, there's that girl at the next desk, she ain't gonna talk to you. So all day you're sitting there stressed out, and it takes a toll. And including all these stimulants, it doesn't do much for you, man. I really feel like it takes away gains more than anything else. I feel like if some of these people took the stimulants out and just really started not relying on them, you could end up seeing better workouts happen. You'd be more hydrated. Concentrate more on hydration, and you will get a great workout. I mean, literally. I like to chug like 2 giant beer mugs of water, ice cold water, like maybe like an hour before my workout. Get them in. to the point where you're like, oh man, there's so much water inside me. If you wait an hour, hour and a half, oh man, you're gonna have a great workout. Oh man, it's so awesome. Ooh. And yet, I just feel like people, they rely on stimulants way too much. Like I've heard people even go as far as to say like, oh man, like, oh I'm just so tired. Like, duh, 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 I could really use a fat burner. It's like, oh man, maybe you could use like a non-fat chicken breast instead, or something like a piece of rye bread, or I don't know, something, but not a fat burner, because that's just gonna, just like you're just like tricking your mind into like, ah. But then there are these people that that do bulking and cutting and all that stuff, and they know their stimulants and they know what they're doing and they know how to balance their calories out and their hydration and all that stuff. So hats off to those people. I'm definitely not one of those people. So I just try and stay away from stimulants completely unless it's to actually work out. Like my pre-workouts are almost, I believe, yeah, that's pretty much the only time that I take caffeine now. Literally. I treat it like drugs, man. I treat caffeine like I try and reserve it so that way when you take it, you get the most high, man. Yeah. That sounds so bad. But I want a low tolerance so that when I have very small amounts of caffeine, like if I drink a cup of coffee, oh man, people hear this and they're like, really? You take all those pre-workouts? But if I drink a cup of coffee, I go into like a different state of mind, man. It's crazy. It's way different than pre-workout for me. It's really weird. And I've thought about it a couple times drinking coffee before a workout, but I just think that would be disgusting for some reason. I know even if it was cold, I don't know. I just couldn't drink coffee before. But if I burped up coffee while I was working out, it'd just be very strange to me. I guess maybe one day I could try it. I did say at one point in time that I want to make hyphy mud. I want to make real hyphy mud. Like get Coca-Cola and the crappy, terrible instant coffee and actually make that stuff and go have a workout. And I wanted to make a video and everything, but I've never done it. I don't know. I have no clue why. I'm rambling now. Let's get on to the next subject. What do I have written here? Oh, okay. Here we go. I like this. This is an interesting one. This is something that I drop on people all the time. Like whenever they're talking about politics, anything about corruption, or anytime that you see something, whenever there's a huge tragedy, something that like, oh my gosh, like this is terrible. I can't believe, people can die. Like, oh my God, I can't believe all these people died here in this event, this thing or that thing, or whatever it is that's tragic. Some people are going to hate me because I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but follow profit. Whenever you see something terrible happen in our society on the news, anything, really stop and don't look at the images that are being put in front of you, because your instantaneous reaction is to feel bad for people, and that's good. That's a good reaction, and it's good that you are willing to have feelings for other people. That's great, but if you stop for a second whenever you see some kind of tragedy on television and you look at who profits in the end from whatever tragedy happened, and I mean literally making money from whatever happens in front of you. And I'm not going to say any type of events or anything like that. Just any event that happens where people die, or any type of terrible thing where people are really distracted by the death instead of actually looking at what's going on. I always tell people follow profit. And that's when you find the real evils in society. I'm not talking about somebody selling t-shirts or selling you pre-workout or some stupid stuff like that. I'm talking about like bad stuff, man, like real bad stuff. Like almost sometimes you see some events when you sit there and think about who profits from something, you can't help but start thinking, oh my gosh, like, whoa, how did someone profit from that? There are some things, documentaries, and there are people that have told me stories from across seas and stuff like that, that it is crazy sometimes, the situations that you see where there is just zero at all, no type of any regard for human, like, it's so bad. They just Oh man, sometimes when you see a lot of people don't know this. They will tell you, "Oh man, I can't believe this and this is going on." Boop de boop de boo. You know, I don't eat that kind of food because they torture animals. Doody doody doo. Meanwhile, you've got an iPhone in your pocket, and did you know that there's a lot of cell phone factories that like there are terrible conditions for these devices that we have around us. The people that make them live in terrible, horrible conditions so that they're cheap for us. Nobody ever thinks of that. I think that that is very, very strange. And I think that if everybody starts thinking about that, it kind of humbles you up real quick. And I don't know. I just think that's so strange that people don't. I don't know. They never look at who profits from a situation. Like if you look at a, oh man, I don't know. I'll just use an example. What about this Ebola thing that just happened? Isn't it strange that it just disappeared, man? I think it's really weird. One thing, there's something on the news that I was listening to, and I was like, they were talking about the suits that they wear and the company that makes them. And I was like, I'm not saying that this is true, okay? But like if I owned a company that made suits that protected you from viruses, human viruses, and the spreading of contagions, it would be in my best interest if I wanted to make a bunch of money and I was very immoral to spread a virus in society. Of course, my suits would sell. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, it's disturbing. You know what? I'm not even gonna talk about it anymore because it disturbs me so much, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna look at me like I'm crazy when I'm talking about this kind of stuff, and they're gonna look at me like I'm some kind of conspiracy theorist. And I apologize, guys. What is our next subject? What does it say on my piece of paper? Oh, you're not trying. You're not trying, my sweet begonia. There's a lot of people. I know that you people that are listening to this know these people, and you know exactly who I'm talking about, and you have that friend. They say they set a PR, or they're not making gains, or whatever it is, but then you really watch them work out. I have a friend at the gym. You've seen him in my videos before. His name's Dakota. He's I call him the little engine that could because he's a lot shorter than me, but I love him and he's amazing. I'm actually jealous of how short he is because he can deadlift. His form is amazing compared to mine. It is spectacular. Anywho, sidetrack. When Dakota does a set, he'll come off the bench press and he will look at you in the face, and it looks like he just confronted the devil or something and he is about to cry because he tried his hardest. He pushed his absolute hardest. Some people some people may I personally use this. I'm not going to talk about what I think about. Sometimes people think about some crazy stuff when they're in the gym so that they can push, or they'll listen to some crazy music so that they can push. In order to have extraordinary results, you have to do something extraordinary. And if that's push really hard, then that's what you got to do. But I see a lot of people out there saying that they set PRs and stuff like that. Now, me personally, I feel like I'm a little bit older. My PRs are set because at very low, I feel, you know, me making excuses. I feel like a lot of my PRs, I don't set really high PRs on deadlifts and squats and stuff like that because I'm a little bit older, man. I'm not trying to hurt myself. But I see people set PRs where it's like, you are really not trying. Like, you're really not trying. That weight is like floating. It's so easy. I remember the first time I watched I hope this is okay. I watched my baby girl deadlift for the very first time. And I don't remember how much weight I had on the bar, but I was like, whoa, that was really easy. And that's what I'm talking about. Is like these and oh man, they'll say they set a PR, but you didn't set a PR, man. It didn't look like you were even gonna cry. Like, you just kind of like barely made a face, excluding Brandon Campbell, of course. Brandon Campbell doesn't make any faces at all. Even when he does set a PR, it stays completely stone cold, completely. I don't know how he does that. It's amazing. But you'll see people in Instagram posts and stuff like that, and you watch it, it's like it was like really easy. It was like really easy, super duper easy, and it seems to me like you could put like a lot more weight on there. I want to see you like get into it, Because I feel like people are missing out on something. Like, you need to, like, really get emotional with it. Like, if you need to let out a little roar, let out a big scream, whatever. Think of something that really, really pisses you off big time. Or, you know, my brother uses this. There's a log on somebody, and it could be like the most adorable girl that you've had a crush on since 5th grade or whatever it is. You need to lift that log off that person. That is how it's good. Imagine you need to do it. You have to do it. There's no choice. The weight is going up. 1, 2, 3. Like to the point where you can't lift it. You know what I mean? Like, push real hard, real hard. I don't know. I just don't understand how it's very, very strange to me. I have nothing else to talk about on this subject. All right, on to the next subject, and I want to talk about this because a lot of people see a lot of the things we do in real life. Me and my brother, Kurt, his friend included. You can check him out at Kurt Owen Music. Check him out, ladies. Look out, Lady Killer, rawr. And that's some of the weird stuff that we do. We do a lot of weird stuff. Me and my brother, the group. Sometimes we do things to put people off, because what it actually does, if you walk up to someone, okay, let's say we see someone in the sauna and we know them, and there's some other people in the sauna. We will call someone, we'll say, "Hello, my sweet little bacon tuna sunshine." If that person laughs, the person that we don't know in the sauna, if that person laughs, they're our new friend and they're cool with us. If they shake their head and they do their like little, "I can't believe this. I can't believe this. These stupid kids. Oh my gosh." And then we are definitely not friends. We're totally, totally not friends. A lot of people ask me, "How can you wear so many flamboyant colors? That's really weird. I don't understand that." Well, the reason is because if you have a problem with someone that wears pink or purple or whatever it is, simply by wearing a garment, if someone can offend you and like ripple your time continuum, your little universe with wearing pink, I want nothing to do with you. Like, nothing. You are obviously very, very close-minded. No thank you. Like talking in the southern accent all the time, man. I can go from southern accent and then I can totally talk normal, just like this right here. But I can bring it right back to southern accent. It's no problem. Sometimes when you meet someone, if you just break into southern accent, they will break into southern accent. You can talk about it and joke about it, and you are instantaneously friends from talking like a southern gentleman. It is completely weird. I don't understand how that works, but it does work. Yeah, and so we do weird stuff to fend people off, because guess what? If you're offended by a stupid comment, or us acting a little bit silly, or a little bit, oh my gosh, I'll say it, a little gay, something is a little bit gay, then we want nothing to do with you. You have problems that are needing to be fixed. If you have, oh man, the looks that we get sometimes, it is amazing. I enjoy it. I use it as entertainment. And another thing that I'm going to bring up is you have to be careful. Excuse me. Be very careful about how much you protest things, how much you get angry, how flustered you get, if you will. Let your feathers get all flustered, letting your panties get in a bunch, if you will. Because there's people out there, me included, my brother included, that we see you. We're open-minded enough and we're calm and collected enough that we observe people and we can see when someone is flustered. And it's entertaining almost. So you have to be careful about how much you protest, because if you're protesting about, someone wearing pink or something and you're shaking your head in the gym and like, oh my gosh, you're going to get looked at. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm going to watch you because now you're entertaining. And like, I think it's kind of funny. And I don't mean to make fun of anybody, but I feel like if there's one thing to make fun of in this world, it's when people want to just point out other people's differences and make fun. It's just so weird to me. Like, that guy wears pink, he's gay. That girl's fat. That guy's ugly. He has stupid shoes. Look at those dumb gay sunglasses. I bet you that guy's gay. I have a problem with people being gay because I'm closed-minded and I'm insecure. So I figure if you're gay, that means you're ultimately totally secure. And that means that I'm kind of inferior if you think about it because I'm insecure about somebody that has nothing to do with me at all. Where was I even going with that? I don't even remember, guys. Yep. And I feel like if you're on the freeway, let's say, and you're just one of these people that's like just a butthole of a person, and you've got to like get up on people's butts in their car, you got to like ride their butt, and you got to change lanes and be all irritated and abrupt about it. You have to be very careful about doing that, man, because people are observing you. They see you doing it, so they know that you're like very irritable. People are going to mess with you. They're going to like purposely get in front of you or like purposely drive slow or do whatever to irritate you because they're bored, man. So be very careful about how uptight you are and how into the little dumb moments you are, or whatever it is, how insecure you are. If you got to let it out by like showing other people, pointing and laughing or whatever, it's just so silly. I feel like we got to start making fun of people that make fun of people. I know that doesn't make sense, and I don't know what to call it. It's a concept I've been trying to come up with for a long time, but I just don't like how everybody always has to. Like, my brother comes into a gym, and everybody's got it. All the dudes have always got to be like, "Oh, that guy's on steroids. That guy's for sure on steroids." Hey, even though they have no knowledge of them at all. I feel like those negative talkers, that negativity, that needs to be made fun of. But I feel like instead, today in television, all sorts of stuff, like gossip is always promoted. It's like it's okay to gossip about things all the time. I feel like people just do that. They're all insecure and unhappy. They see that guy on TV with the Escalade. They know they can't have an Escalade, so they get unhappy and they talk smack about other people in the gym. That makes total sense. That should be made fun of. Well, I guess it shouldn't be made fun of, because you know what? That's a person that's just really been tricked by corporations and television and whoever sits at the big desk of television. Shouldn't make fun of that person. That's terrible. Shouldn't make fun of anybody, guys. Should never make fun of anyone. Ever. Never. Make fun of people that make fun of people. That's what I feel. All right, guys, you know what? I think that is going to be it for this very first ever LP Variety Hour. This is actually 30 minutes exactly, so I think that this fits some people's cardio sessions perfectly, and that's awesome. And you are welcome, my friend. You are very welcome for making your cardio go by, or your traffic, or whatever it is that you are doing while you listen to this. I want to thank all of you guys for joining me on this first one. I really hope this turns out okay. I think I might just upload it and not listen to it before, because I don't even remember what I talked about. How awesome is that, man? That's pretty cool. Also, guys, leave comments. If there's something that you like that I talked about, leave it down there. If you want to hear me talk about something, go ahead and write it as well. Have conversations in the comments. Have fun with it. And I will see you next time, baby girl.